everybody, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. And yeah, how are you doing, everybody? I hope well. Thanks for asking. Here, everything is going pretty good. Lots of things to do, lots of YouTube videos to bring out, of course, as you've seen already. And yeah, we have some things planned for the stream, doing a few things with Nuxt.js, of course, taking a look at some PRs, some open source stuff, and maybe if we have a little time, start building a little application for a bit of a thesis work. So yeah, things go well. Let's maybe jump straight away into some stuff that we can have a look into. All right, maybe let's start with some things on the website that we've taken a look in further streams or in previous streams, and we want to take a look further. There are a few issues open. There are a few PRs open that I want to have a look as well. Quite some. So some draft ones, even one from Harlan that I am planning to take a look for ages. So that might be a really good moment for that. And also some things resolving things around the Twitch Live notification, some improvements to a button, and a few more Nuxt things. So yeah, I think we are ready and we dive in. Are you accepting some questions if you have time? Yes, if you have any questions, bring them on, and I'm very happy to make a little detour here and there and answer them, of course. If it's nothing that like, oh yeah, I have this big project, but more like, hey, how to do X, Y, Z? Sure, no problem. Also, if it's too lengthy, then I'm happy to incorporate it either in a blog post, in a video, in a demo application. So yep, bring them on, sure, of course. Yeah, and I think let's give it a go in the code itself. I already prepared a few things here and there. Hello, hey. And yeah, thanks a lot. Much appreciated. Thanks for the follow. We are here on the website repository of my own personal website. We will give this a go. Maybe first pull all the changes. Okay, reinstall dependencies. Because there were a few more changes, and then we jump right in here. Salut, and then my friend Jens, but yeah, hey, welcome to the stream. Okay, here we go. And thanks a lot for the follow. Let's see what dependencies are outdated. I know there are a few, and I know some things are also broken. Yeah, Nuxt OG image, Harlan did some great work in there, pushing further RCs out. Yeah, Nuxt can be updated by one minor for sure. Date functions already on 3 point something, but we can update that. Tailwind CSS module, Nuxt image. Oh yeah, Nuxt image. That's I might hold on for now, or maybe I will. Let's see. Nuxt content. Nuxt simple sitemap got deprecated. Okay, this is something I better have a look at right away. Nuxt simple sitemap. Also, don't worry, I use a streaming profile here, so the history is not saved. Okay, migrated to Nuxt.js sitemap, that makes sense. Sorry, wondering. Got it. Are you using the composition API? Yes, I use the composition API exclusively, unless there are some legacy projects, especially with Nuxt. It's really, really nice to work with. So yeah, composition API all the way. All right, that will be the first ban. There we go. And let's jump back to the code, and we replace Nuxt simple sitemap by just saying, okay, you know what? Let's add a new branch. Sure, dependencies. Let's say we remove Nuxt simple sitemap, and we install Nuxt sitemap. There should not be any big change. We'll check it out in a second. So we can install that. We go into our Nuxt config, and in here we have a Nuxt simple sitemap somewhere, and replace this with add Nuxt.js sitemap here. Okay, so far so good. Let's take a look. I'll maybe restart the server just in case, and we can close this here. And let's have a look how it looks like in the browser. Hope everything still works. I would assume so, but let's give it a go. At localhost 3000. Yeah, didn't expect didn't expect Volar around. Oh, okay. Some things break because I zoomed in too much, I suppose. Okay, that looks better. Twitch indicator works. That's also very lovely. Happy to see that. The photos take a little longer to load because they're generated right away in dev server. It's also fine. And a question from Mad Mikey B. Why are some at Nuxt and why are some at Nuxt.js? Yeah, good point. Might cause some confusion here and there, but the point is, if we take a look, we have the Nuxt organization, right? Where, for example, Nuxt content is in, where we have Nuxt image. So these are technically packages that are maintained by the Nuxt team. So even if say like, okay, the main maintainer of the package might jump off at some point, there is more or less a guarantee that this will be continued and there will be support for stuff. So that's the focus on, for example, Nuxt image, Nuxt content. They can be seen as tightly integrated into the framework. For example, Nuxt image, there's also some discussions about like maybe providing it by default, or soon we have something like Nuxt script, Nuxt asset, Nuxt font to improve the performance out of the box even more. And yeah, at Nuxt.js is from Nuxt community or from Nuxt modules. So there's the Nuxt community, which is the older organization that were all the Nuxt 2 modules. And now we have in Nuxt modules everything that is Nuxt free compatible. And they usually start with at Nuxt.js. A little bit confusing, I agree. But that's more or less the idea behind that. So we have like integrations for certain things, like for Sanity, we have like Ionic modules, authentications, certain things, ITN, and so on, so on. So this is still like better support, quote unquote, than a package that is not in that org. And also we are interested, like as a team, and I am interested as well in keeping these up to date and live. But it's let's say the priority is still at the Nuxt packages first, and then the community packages. So that's the main difference there. And yeah, I know it's a little bit confusing, but all in all, we want to have like a flourishing ecosystem. And most of these packages also doesn't necessarily start off in Nuxt modules. Like, for example, I think, I'm not sure if Sanity, but for example, Fontaine was longly maintained and still maintained by Daniel, right? By Daniel Rowe. And he started adding that in his own namespace and then at some point moved it over. Yeah, true. Oops, thanks. I changed the layout recently, so let me fix that here. There we go. Thank you. Yeah. That's a good point. I will fix that. And here as well, I guess. Yeah, let me do this real quick. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, before I had a little bit split off with like a little bar for the chat and then only browser in like 2/3, but yeah, I think that layout is a bit nicer with the browser full screen. And if I really want to, I can just say like, okay, hey, let's just have a look at the browser. So nothing is distracting or too small. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm very happy to go into the details there as far as I know them. But here, yeah, that's the main idea. And also let's say the Nuxt community space, or like the Nuxt module space, is if you have a module, if you maintain it, then there are always ways to move it over there. You still are, let's say, responsible or like the maintainer of the project, but it gets a bit more focused as, hey, this is one of the integrations that are offered in the wider sense. And for example, for sitemaps, there are various ways of integrating a sitemap, right? But then the preferred way would be choosing the sitemap module, and I think it should still be in here. Yeah, there we go. So that's the way. Okay, another question. I'm creating Nuxt module that have options that foo can be bar or bash. So depending on value, I want to generate different types for Nuxt runtime config, Nuxt runtime public config. Okay, how would I do that? Also follow up creating a CI2 with city or kitty, depending on how I want to pronounce it. How can I load Nuxt config? So depending on the module config, I can load different CLI functions. Yeah, it is a lengthy question indeed. I think I will have a look at it off stream, give you a demo. Let me quickly just take a note on that, because that will take a bit longer, but it is definitely possible. Let me just note that down. I will reach you out on Twitter because I think I saw you're there already, or on Discord. No problem at all. And yeah, let me copy that over. There we go. Yeah, but I don't save that in the VS Code one. Not here. Okay. Great. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Diving back into these things here. Locally, the things work. We have that indicator. That is all good and fine. There were a few things that were broken, which we'll have a look in the PR Harlan started creating, which is a really nice one. But first, yeah, okay, we have these hydration attribute mismatches. We can fix these as well. If you're aware of these, there is also a video I talked about that. So since Vue 3.4, we have a bit of better hydration detection. And now we also have these detections for example, the ID, which if the ID is different on a server than the client, we have exactly what we have here. So this is, let's say this is a problem as in it shouldn't be like that, but it always was like that, it just wasn't checked. But we can fix that real quick after updating dependencies. So let's just do pnpm update then here and see. Oh yeah, hydration issues. I love them. I documented I wrote a blog post on how to fix them Nuxt 2 back in the times, and my upcoming talk will also be about exactly them. They are sometimes mind-boggling. With Vue 3.4 got better, and there will also be a hook called on mismatch soon in the Vue core for I think 3.5. And oh, here again. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Let's fix that real quick here, and also here. Perfect. Yep, different scenes. There we go. Okay. And back to the code. Yeah, so, all right. We updated all these things. We probably have to update Nuxt OG image manually. Yep, pnpm update Nuxt OG image -- latest. And we'll see what that will mean. Lots of bug fixes for sure. So that module is just there to generate the preview images, which for the website right now do not work because I messed something up there last time, but it's fine. We'll also fix that. Okay, and now that we're here, we are on Nuxt 3.10 now. Here was still 3.9, so let's restart that and have a look. Yes, 3.10.1, that's perfect. We will definitely be able to fix a few things with the hydration points. So we have just the app.view with like, okay, we have some app SEO, we have some site notifications. And here we can take a look because I used headless UI for a few things. We can resolve that use ID thingy with headless UI. I think there was an issue about disclosure. How about hydration? Yeah, this one. And that's exactly the issue I was talking about before. Also linking that here in case someone has that. And the good part is Nuxt provides a user ID composable now. So exactly the only thing you have to do is this, provide user ID, and we do it as far on top as possible. So in the app.view, and that should just work. Let's see if that's the case or if we need to do something else right away. So provide user ID should come from, might have to switch back from headless UI. Yeah, okay, we have to import it here. And maybe do that all the way on top then. Okay. And if everything works well, then I think we should get rid of our issues straight away. Let's jump in here and yep, let's refresh, do a full refresh, see what happens. Perfect. No hydration issues, still loading because of the photos that are generated by IPX again due to Nuxt image, but hydration issues gone. Perfect. To be fair, these hydration issues are not like the biggest deal because they are more about, oh yeah, I have to generate the ID in a way that I can pass them from the server to client. Before that didn't really happen. So they were just regenerated on the client, and that's the easiest part, right? There are way more things about, oh yeah, I don't pass the state from the server to the client in the right way, or I don't know, I do something with dates, like give me the current date and don't pass it over with random things and so on and so on. So there are lots of cases where, yeah, it can be tricky. Let's just commit that. Say update deps, let's fix hydration issues, something like that. And we can just publish that, create a pull request and merge it. So classic flow. But yeah, well, as we did that, we can just say squash and merge. And, or actually, I will probably do that rather not in VS Code because I'm not sure what title they take. I'll just do that in the browser. Are you using ESLint for a project? What's the preferred method for formatting related stuff in Nuxt projects? I usually do use ESLint. Yeah, in here I don't. I have it somewhere as an issue here for a little bit now, because that should be hopefully another stream being like, okay, I want to create an own ESLint rule package for quite a while, because obviously I have a little bit of opinion here and there, and I wanted to do that first and then add a ESLint config. But you don't have to. You can also use the Nuxt one. So there is that Nuxt ESLint config, which is in here, and you can use that. So add Nuxt ESLint config. That works already out of the box. That doesn't give you any opinionated style suggestions. It's more like avoid fixing or like avoid running into issues. So I would recommend it in almost any project. And then yeah, on top I would probably just use my config. Also, like back then for Nuxt 2, I contributed a few things to the Nuxt 2 ESLint config. But the current one, that looks pretty nice, and as I said, doesn't force you, or like trailing comma, yes or no, or I don't know, space between a function parameters and name or whatnot. So that's like the most unopinionated one. And then on top of that, choose whatever you want. I already have a project where we like crafted a big set of rules. So I hope that like in the next time, thanks for a follow. In the next time, I have time to maybe also stream that, create an own package. Maybe even with the ESLint flat config option. So that's like a rather new flat config type, and I haven't had a big look into that yet. So it could be a nice topic. Yeah, but TLDR ESLint is a really good choice there. I also I also know people saying, hey, don't use ESLint for stylistic reasons, and I also get that. So in this case, for example, Josh Goldberg, also an avid friend of saying, please use formatters because ESLint is not meant for formatting things, and I agree there. Maybe also have a look into that. So use a formatter for formatting. But right now, I have to admit, I'm just a bit lazy and say, okay, there are stylistic rules in ESLint. They will still exist. They will work. So I will go with them until I have time for a better setup. All right. Okay. Perfect. Deploying already failed. That's lovely. Let's have a look why. Building failed because let's see. Okay, 500, 500. That's not good, but we will have a look why. Document not found. Oh yeah, updated Nuxt image. I see. I said earlier that I shouldn't, and here I did. Okay, let's do the following. That's good. I didn't merge it then. How about we revert it then? So let's say git reset, not hard, just like this. And we say, you know what, let's revert the pnpm log. And instead, we keep Nuxt image at 1.1, how it was before. The rest can be updated seamlessly. And just go for pnpmi. Hopefully that will work. Because there's a little issue with Nuxt image right now and sharp. It's not actually in Nuxt image. It is, as I said, in sharp, which is an underlying library to convert the images. And yeah, it's a bit tricky to resolve. So let's see how that will go. Okay, let's try this then. The rest can stay as we had it. Let's just go with work in progress, and maybe let's do a little force push here, which you should never do on the master or main branch or in any non-feature branch, of course. But in this case, I think it makes sense. And let's wait for the scenario to get ready. Okay, we'll have a look at that in a bit too. And while dependencies are updated, we have a look at Harlan's PR. I think that should be the first one. So let's keep that open and jump over to Harlan's PR, because this is a draft one. It's really nice. Some SEO improvements. And I agree with most of them, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, because so Harlan maintains quite some Nuxt SEO related modules, Nuxt OG image, Nuxt site config, and so on and so on. So there are a few things that are removed because you don't need them. That's really nice. So that they're applied by default. That's perfect. I was looking into that for a bit, but I guess right now I didn't use it fully. So yeah, I just didn't use Nuxt SEO fully, but just these 3 options here. Yeah, okay. I should fix that here, as you mentioned as well. Okay. All right. Besides that, we get rid of a few lines. That's perfect. OG type will also be set automatically, so that's nice. We use Nuxt.js SEO, which contains other packages. Perfect. The compat, maybe this will also fix the issue from before. That's great. That's also an RC version, probably higher by now. We'll have a look in a bit. When you use Nuxt SEO experiments through Nuxt SEO module, it will automatically copy over the title. That's great, just have to enable that. But let's see if Nuxt SEO comes with Nuxt SEO experiments already, because I am not entirely sure about that. Oh. Okay. Oh yeah, okay, it's included. Great. Perfect. Then we can use that. Title is inferred. That's also very nice. Don't have to pass that. Yeah, link to current page using the with site URL. That's also a good idea. Didn't know it was fully reactive, so that's a big plus, because I was looking at it and was like, not sure. Yeah, that's also a good idea. And same point here. These are just some diffs we can ignore. Okay, here we just use site config through the module. That's for the feed generation for the RSS feed, because nowadays every blog should have an RSS feed, I suppose. Yeah, that sounds all sane to me. Let's check that out locally and have a look. All right, this still breaks. Okay, maybe we apply the same fix then as well. So let's do an update then anyway, and let's this was 124. Okay, check that out. We had image compatibility. Nope. Yeah, compatibility def sharp false. Okay, but only def. Oh, it was the OG image, obviously. Makes sense. Compatibility def sharp false, I think. Let's just double check. Yeah, okay. That should only disable for the OG image and def. Nah, that won't be perfect. Yeah. Yeah, that's the tricky part. OG image, no, Nuxt image, sharp. So 1.3, I think. Yeah, this one. So yeah, that's an issue, and I commented below here as well, and talked about it with the team, so Daniel and Puya, and the other people from the team as well. And the issue is that if you have technically, if you deploy somewhere, but you have a different build setup, then Sharp technically says, okay, if I'm built, let's say, on a Linux environment and Docker container, but I'm deployed in a total different environment, then Sharp doesn't know which binary to include. It will just assume, okay, if I build, then this will be the same platform where it will run. And yeah, that's a bit unpleasant, let's say. So I didn't encounter that bug so far, but I mean, it might make sense to have a look into the overrides. I know certain people try to reset it to not when to go to 1.3, but if you just refresh the log file, you get the newest Sharp version as well. So yeah, that's not ideal. But first, before we dive into that, let's see if that's actually the issue. And let's just build it. Let's just build a project, pnpm build. So we don't generate it locally. We just say we build a server and run that, because generating could take a little bit of time. We'll see if that will help. Then we can also remove this for now. Oh, okay. Use runtime config, so it should be in runtime runtime config public site is undefined. That's a bit strange. That shouldn't be the case. Because of the site here. Yeah, true. I moved it over here. Yeah, that's right. As a fix for another issue in a module. So let's do this instead. And public, that's fine. Also, nope. Site URL. Okay. Let's try this, because that should be fine then. Yeah, by the way, if you have any other questions, please let me know. Drop them in. I'm very happy to answer them if possible. Yeah, 2 routes are pre-run anyway, that's correct. Because we have that set up here. So the feed is always pre-rendered, that's fine. Okay, let's run that. That's more or less our production build, local production build. Let's not run it on 3000. Okay. Let's not run it on 3000 for a simple reason. I don't want to accidentally install service workers locally or like pollute the local port. Okay, would Squoosh CLI be a better replacement for Sharp? We'll have a look. I'm not entirely sure if that would be possible, but let's see. Nope, that's just a Twitch pop out there. So the problem is, if we go a bit deeper, Nuxt image relies on IPX, right? From UnJS, that's like usually the common scenario. Some modules also, Nuxt itself relies on lots of UnJS packages. And IPX itself, once again, relies on Sharp for certain transformations. So if you would have to, as an SVGO, of course, for SVGs. But the problem is that then you would have to change IPX fully. Also, yeah, no longer maintained. That's probably tricky then. Like I know it's Squoosh app for sure, but if the package here isn't maintained anymore, which is a bit unfortunate. Oh yeah, Zorma, Jeff Archibald, and Jason Miller were working that. That's yeah, that's tricky. So probably not be an ideal replacement with regards to stability. And I mean, Sharp it should work pretty well. the most important part is to find a way either to tell Sharp which binaries to bundle, or just like, okay, hey, take them all and choose the right one. But it's sadly not super straightforward. IPX itself is pretty fun, actually. Like, for example, Netlify is using IPX to do their image optimization services, and it can be used in all various scenarios. So that's definitely a good library if you are into some image optimization, resizing, and general operations and modifications. So let's say there's like more or less like a local cloudinary, yeah, and similar. Yeah, the problem is, okay, what can we do? And that way we will see if we can just pin Sharp, because that was introduced in the rather new Sharp version. Okay, 3000 will fail because we're on 3001. Let's have a look. That works. Yep, German pop-up here, that's also fine. And the photo runs too, okay. Of course, that's the thing, right? We build it in the same environment that we actually deploy it, so that works okay. Let's you know what, let's just push that as it is. Just go for work in progress here and see what will happen. And then we will check out Harlan's PR if things work. Yeah, other than that, I mean, I've been through a few things on the website already. If you have any questions about the code or what's going on, please just let me know and I will have a look. Or I will explain a few things here and there. It's a bit strange that it doesn't recognize site anymore, but that will be fixed also when we switch to the whole Nuxt SEO package, which we'll do in a bit. In the meantime, this is still building. As long as it's deploying fine, that's good. Because right now, one of the issues that's a bit unfortunate is that the preview images don't work. So if we take a look, oh yeah, localhost, of course it works. Let's go to the actual website. There's also localhost. Let's go here. We have there for the OG image and everything. We don't have the URL set correctly. And this probably was fixed in a newer version of the packages, so I just had to update that. At the same time, applying the best practices Harlan suggested there. Yeah, Nuxt SEO is awesome. Harlan's doing a great job. I met him actually last year, basically half a year ago or something, when he was in Amsterdam. It was really cool to meet him IRL, because he's based in Australia, unless he's traveling, which is pretty amazing. So yeah, that was great. Okay, let's see. We can close these. We will have a look at that in a second. And if everything goes well, we finally see this here building. Yeah, that looks good. And there you also see, like, the pre-rendering takes a fair chunk of time, because every tiny amount, every tiny page has to be pre-rendered, and then it's like, oh, is it that much? Wait, there was something that was not found, which is a bit strange. Oh, timeline. That seems old. Anyway, I'll check that in a bit. So that looks really good. So let's say if we go to the page again, it doesn't seem much, right? Like, okay, a few articles, fine, no big deal. The bigger part is here in the speaking, right? Like all the speaker gigs, and yeah, I know pagination would be very much appreciated here, but so far it works. And even then, it's like, I don't know how many of these are around. Let's say, yeah, I could probably just take a look in the code, but it's not too much. That's the best part. It is really possible. Let's say here, $0.children, child count like 6. Okay, let's just say 60 pages plus a few articles. So like, I don't know, 75 pages. But then there's a bigger deal, because there are these pages here, right? So they're so-called topic pages. So if I go to view, we have topic Vue.js, and then some workshops that I offer, some articles, and some talks and podcasts, basically. And that's, in a way, an interesting way, first of all, categorizing grouping. So if someone is like, oh, maybe I see more things about Vue, I'm interested, I click there, or Petite Vue in this case. But there are not too many tags, but still you have to render each page of that again. So that might take a while. But like, damn it. A while is not too long. I think like max 5 minutes, and that's without the improvements so far. Okay, that's only, great. That's only pre-render errors. That's not on OG image. That's perfect. This is a bit strange though, because there are some things that are 404. Document not found. Linked from timeline, linked from support me. I don't think I have timeline and support me up anymore even, but we'll check this in a sec. Let's quickly bring on the server again and jump back. And let's do in 3000. I know, support me. I think that should be sponsors. So by now redirected. Oh no, it's not redirected at all. Okay, and timeline. Also not there. Let's see, if I go here to timeline, I think it should redirect to like about, yeah, and support me should redirect to sponsors. That's correct. Yeah. Also, shout out to any of my GitHub sponsors. Really appreciate the help there to give me the chance to work on open source for a bit. The thing is timeline. Let's see, is timeline linked anywhere? Because the only thing is, yeah, we have it redirect in the route rules. Support me as well. I'm just wondering why they give a 404. That's a bit strange, actually. Oh, I think I remember seeing something like that was fixed or touched later on. Let's see in the Nuxt repo itself, Nuxt. Because I think we added all the redirects. Redirect route rules, view router, something like that. Nope. It was definitely closed once. Avoid view router warning with route rule redirect. It might be related to this one. When using Nitro route rules, we support client-side handling of redirects with view router, as well as Nitro on server side. However, there's still an error message print in the console, and that adds a stub component so that the error is suppressed. Which makes sense so far. Okay, app manifest is enabled, and we extend these and add them as a stub to just say, okay, you don't have to warn, it works. The weird part is that, yeah, this should, in theory, work locally, but apparently it doesn't. Interesting. I have a feeling this is possibly this could be a Nuxt bug. You know what? Let's jump in and check out if that's the case or not, if it's just a combination of what we use here. So to reproduce things, usually what I do is I go to nuxt.new and then to the StackBlitz version, because I can run everything in browser. And this gives me a clean Nuxt setup that I can just share. So what I want to do here is in route rules, I want to basically add what I had before. So let me just copy that over here from here. And let's just say, okay, we take these. And we actually add pages. And we add, let's add sponsors, because that should exist, right? We don't need timeline as well. It's fine to have support me. And in app.view, we can fully remove this. We just need sponsors. And here, let's just add a template with an H1 saying sponsors page. Very simple version, right? Okay. Let's save this as a new one. I usually only save it if I actually reproduce it, but for the sake of the stream, why not keeping that here? Doesn't hurt. And I will also, when it's done, I will link that either in the chat under the YouTube description if that's the VOD you're watching right now, but for everyone live, I can link that straight away, but I will rename it probably. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We can also add an index page so we don't get a 404 straight away. Yeah, okay. So if we now go to /sponsors, this has to work. Sponsors page. Okay, go back to /. And if we now go to, how did we name it? Support me. It's broken. Yay, nice. We found a Nuxt bug. Perfect. Okay, how we deal with that now? Well, obviously we raise an issue. We'll keep this, this wonderful PR here. Maybe we can even fix it straight away. Let's see. Bug report. And we file it saying opening redirected URL through route rules breaks page, or does not redirect and breaks page. Something like that's fine. Okay. What we do next, we do a description. Additional context is related PR. And describe the bug. We described it very nicely, saying when, adding a redirect in the route rules, e.g. And then we'll copy what we have here. We can inline that, it's okay. There we go. And then trying to directly access the page through the browser. The redirect does not happen, and the page breaks instead. All right. So, of course, very important, we want to provide a reproduction here. We have a reproduction, but as I said, what I really like to do instead, okay, we can file this first, npx nuxi info for the environment. I mean, stackblitz, it's fine. Let's copy this over. And yeah, as I said, what I do like to do for the reproduction here is I don't know which name that issue will have eventually. So I will usually do this and add the link afterwards, which has a very simple reason. I can get that ID or the whole link, and I can, oh yeah, it would be good to actually sign in here. Different profiles, so bear with me for a sec. Okay, logged in, perfect. And I usually try to put the URL here and name the whole thing Nuxt issues 25743. So first of all, I know what's related. It's easy to figure out what's going on. And now I take the whole thing, move it over and say, okay, reproduction here. First, go to /support me, see error in the console, and no content nor the redirect happening. And that's that. You can also, oh yeah, I might need a full reload here because the stackblitz didn't update. Bonus points for actually showing the error, because it's always good to include a few more, a little bit more info here. So what we can do is, as soon as the whole thing booted up, we open the page again, the sponsor page. Also here, we say, maybe you just add a link, can be an it has to be an A tag actually, to sponsors page via redirect. This will break. Okay. And we say href/support me here. Okay. Yeah, fine. This breaks as we reproduced it. And taking a look at the console, we see component is missing template or render function, probably because the component stub didn't work as expected. Okay. Then we can even say click the link on the index page. And we can provide this here. All right. Good. Nice. We filed that one. Usually, like when I try issues that are not mine, I'll straight away set the right labels. But as I reported the issue, I rather prefer someone else from the team like having a look and saying, oh yeah, that is actually an issue. I can reproduce that. Because even though I'm entirely sure, hey, this is broken, maybe I just made a genuine mistake. So can happen. That's why I usually don't start triaging my own issues. Well, I tried quite some, but yeah, with mine, it's a bit tricky. With like suggestions or feature requests or something, it's a different story. But with bugs, it's like leave that to someone else to like pick up or have a look. I mean, if I would straight away fix it, it's a different story as well. So yeah, what can we do here? In the first place, what we can do is we know most likely it's related to this PR here. We can have a look at the changes. So we see, okay, here, if Nuxt Objects Experimental App Manifest is enabled, this will be added, right? So one way to deal with it would be disabling the app manifest. That could work. Instead, what we can also do, we could patch Nuxt and say, yeah, let's just remove this code until it works again. I think for like to make it easy, I will just link that and disable the manifest for now. So what we can do here in experimental, why I don't have the type completion here, it's a bit strange. I should have now app manifest false and say re-enable when is resolved. Patching also works and would like be the same thing with a bit more effort, but right now we don't really need the app manifest. So let's push it and have a look, and hopefully it will work out as we thought. Yeah. Also, for everybody curious, I'm very happy to link the issue in the description or like link the issue here straight away. But yeah, as time is already passing on, maybe we can take that in a bit, because the PR itself that is related makes a lot of sense. Like it makes sense to say, okay, we actually want to get rid of the error and we have some kind of stub, but right now it it simply breaks, which is not ideal. I just wonder if that, okay, wait, one more thing we can test out. This is actually something that's might be interesting. What if we would just have this, probably same, but still, like no status code. That's also valid, right? But it would use a 3 or 2, I think. Okay, same problem. Yeah, okay. Then it's not the problem of providing the status code separately. Thank you so much for the following. Okay. Ideally this will build, things will work fine, and we can, well, eventually get things up and running. I'm also very curious if this dependency bump already fixes, if this already fixes the URLs that go wrong. Could be, but nevertheless, implementing Harlan's PR could be very useful. Oh yeah, there will be a VOD definitely on YouTube. So yeah, thanks a lot for joining. See you later on. Also, that, let's, I think, yeah, bring up the socials just in case. Yeah, see you later. Thank you. And also the occasional hint for the YouTube channel while we're waiting for the build phase here, I think it's still going, is that, yeah, okay, yes. Yeah, there is a YouTube channel, surprise, where I talk a bit about Nuxt, View, and all that. So if you're interested in that, there might be some videos catching your attention. Thank you so much for the follow. And it failed again, but this time, okay, same idea. Or is it just no? It's still going. That was just the old log, I guess. Yeah, that was the old log. Okay, because this time it should work. One other thing to do, it would be very nice if we could also apply this shared pre-render data experimental that the Nuxt 3.10 release gave us. So that's really cool. Also made a video about that, where we can cut down our time for pre-rendering. So if you have a site that you really need to generate, because right now, let's say you need a call in your header, and right now, if you render 100 pages, that call has to be made all the time. And with that experimental function, the benefit is that it only has to be made once, and then it will just check like, oh yeah, is it in the cache? Then reuse it, and otherwise do the call. And that's a bit like the Nuxt 2 payload option back in time. And if anyone is familiar of Nuxt 2 and never used that, but this will work way more streamlined. You don't have to do much to achieve that. That's the best part. So yeah, and okay, we're still not good. What's happening now? It still gives us document not found. Interesting. Then we do something very radical here, and we take this, we move this over, but then it might not be the PR. Strange. Okay. And we do a very simple thing here. We say fail on error false, and put that on top of it, saying, hey, okay, we should definitely revisit that. But right now, we want to get things up and running again. So now, even if they're like 4.4s, or even 500s, that's the downside, right? It will still go through. That's not ideal, which is why it's not default. But it's also strange. It says like linked from support me. Yeah, it should not. I mean, it should link there, actually. It's fine. Probably somewhere in like an old blog post or something, this is linked. Oh no, it's because of pages extend. Yeah, still. But it shouldn't break. Yeah, if Nuxt options experimental app manifest, and we disabled that for sure. Just like, let's just double check that, because yeah, we did. There was no other experimental. Oh. Okay. Yep, that was on me then. Then let's not enable this, because once again, this is a bit dangerous if I might not see that with other issues. Okay, then we should be fine. And you know what? While we're here, we also enable share. Why is it not there? I also want to enable sharedPrerenderData, what we had here. We'll just do that anyway and put it in. Okay, so best case, that should be fine. It's not here. Let's quickly give Volar a reload, because that definitely exists in the experimental space. It does. Perfect. Yeah. All right. You can probably also remove this here, because this should be true by default by now, the bundle resolution, so we can bring that out. I will push this, but no, sorry, I will commit this, but not push this yet, because first I want to see if things work. I have this disabled. We watched the typo, that's fine. DevTools are on as they should be. Some tailwind definitions over here. Nuxt content going on, plausible. Yeah. Okay, this should actually be good to go. We could also say we move these redirects to the redirects file. That would be a third option to change things, because I have a few things here anyway, but I think right now we're good. What did you reload just now? Was it ESLint server? No, it was Volar. So, and also of course, hi, welcome to the stream. So usually what people do is like reload the whole window. And I tend to do this very often too. But if it's about TypeScript and you are in a view-related workspace, you usually have Volar installed, right? And usually with takeover mode, as it's down here. So Volar reload project will not reload the whole project, but technically just Volar and just also TypeScript. And then things will work. Of course, you're welcome. I also think Volar 2.0 should Volar 2.0 should not need takeover mode anymore, but as it's still work in progress, and I think there are like Volar labs to try out the latest version, which I don't use here right now. You might not need takeover mode anymore. And then there's like a TypeScript, not Volar's like TypeScript version, but like TypeScript reload server, which is then more or less the same idea. Yeah, if that doesn't work, sometimes I also just do reload window, because it's a guarantee that things will change. All right, let's have another look. Oh, nice. This ran through already. That's perfect. So that should be good. And we can merge this and then have a look at the PR from Harlan. Very nice. Okay, this was, I think, just oh yeah, the fail. Oh, of course, yeah, sure. This passed because we set fail and error to true, to false. Got it. Let's see if this will go well. I have a feeling that it should. Yeah, let's check. Netlify. Yep, generating also all the pages, all the images as well for the referrals and so on and so on. Okay. And also this will go way faster now because of the shared pre-render data option that we set here. Okay, in the meantime, maybe let's clean it up. That's can go. We have a look what changed. I don't think there was that much of a change, but we should have the releases to keep in mind, because that was just 5.1 that were good. Okay. Yep. Okay. 5.0. Okay, mainly features and just a bump. Nice. Okay, we have a look at that in a second. We'll leave this open too. The PRs here. That's totally just debugged. Support me as well. App manifest and the PR. The GitHub reproduction, the StackBlitz reproduction with the GitHub issue. Okay, YouTube, Nuxt 3.10. Then we're good. Okay. Yep, almost done generating, I suppose. Only the images are left. And oh, okay, now we go through a few more queries and other speaking parts, but still. Anyway, I think we can reliably have a look on Harlan's PR before anyway, because when that will go through, we just have to resolve some merge conflicts and then we're fine. So let's really take that and go from here. All right. I hope I did. Yeah, I thought so. I don't have GitHub CLI installed on the VSL machine. You know what? I will quickly do that because that might be faster. So I can just use that. Because on my Mac I have it installed easily, but here it's not the case. I mean, technically it's in the RPM repository, but I will just execute it for a few commands here and then we'll do this. And yes, I am using WSL, as you can see, like here, there, and so on. Okay. Of course, we want to log in first. No enterprise. SSH is, yeah. Let's copy this, enter, open it in the browser, and authorize everything. And we're good. Nice. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, perfect. That was a bit quicker. A bit faster than going through, oh yeah, let's sync to origin and so on and so on. Okay. Yeah, I think we can probably skip this. Also, we don't need sharp necessarily here. Let's, especially in def, we can leave it like that. It's fine. And then go over a few things that he mentioned, and as that we already checked out. But we want to do that in a few more scenarios. Also, in the meantime, okay, perfect. We're good. Post-processing, deploying. That's nice. Very happy to see that. Okay, open the deploy preview, which is not only the deploy preview, we will merge this in a sec. So we are good to go. Okay. Great, this shouldn't take too long. Oh, one more thing to check, is the URL correct? Yeah, nice. That's very important. Now the OG images will work again. Okay, lovely. We'll still go for all the things. Experimental inline roads, that's fine. Let's quickly see if we have to do any merge conflicts for that. Yeah, a few things, but that's okay. Let's do it right here. Let's fetch all the things. And then let's say, yeah, let's merge the main. We can ignore this. We just regenerate it. So let's just remove the PNPM lock and just do PNPMI. Because if that's the biggest issue, then we're good. Yeah, okay. All right. More merge conflicts. Wait, oh no, it's not. I just have to actually do force push. Git merge abort. Oh. Okay, then we'll just do it again. It's fine. Let's just remove it and install it again. Yeah, for all log files, that should be a fine way to resolve these issues. Let's go for it. Okay. Nice. Checking that real quick. What does it say? It still has conflicts. Okay. Not latest version, of course. Okay, let's check out the PR again, and let's do main now. Origin main. How about nope? I mean, we can, for a few things, we can do it here. For the PNP lock, we have to redo it anyway. Because, okay, that's fine. That's a conflict we can really easily resolve. We use Nuxt SEO here. The rest is okay. For package JSON, we also can just use Nuxt.js SEO. That should also be fine. The PNP lock we will regenerate anyway. So we can take technically whatever we want in this case. I really don't like doing these here straight away, but that's a bit. Okay, we are in main. Let's check out. Yeah, the default. That's fine. Okay. Now for real, GM origin main. Yeah, okay, that looks better. That looks way better. Okay, here we go. We can resolve these easier. Okay, we accept Nuxt.js SEO. Yep, that's fine. Package JSON is also pretty straightforward. We only take Nuxt.js SEO. And here, once again, we'll remove the PNPM lock and reinstall. Okay. These are done. Commit. Sync. I should just force push to hey. That's okay. Let's do that real quick. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly. It's rebasing. You just do this. Fine. And we are fine. Okay. From here we can work further. That's good. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. We don't need OG title setting as title. It's perfect. We can remove this everywhere. So let's quickly do this and check, because there are quite a few lines where we do this. But if that works with experiments, we're perfectly good. And we technically, yeah, we'll just add a little space and two of them. And then we just say replace them all and goodbye. So that already works for the experiments. I'm not sure if the description also works. Let's have a look. Oh, it says. Okay, perfect. Then we can also skip this. And the space is already there. And fully remove this as well. Okay, title description. We're good to go. Do we have this somewhere else without any kind of spacing, or maybe for comma? We don't miss that. Great. Let's add this as the first of many changes. It's also super nice that title will be inferred automatically. So probably everything with title, which is lots of cases where we just pass the title and that should just work for the OG images. We'll have a look if that actually does. But if Harlan says that, I'm more than sure it will. Let's replace it. Makes the code even simpler, more simple. It's also something he suggested. Okay. Nice. Invert, it's perfect. Oh yeah, that's with the public site URL. We can definitely change this. We don't have that in many places, probably nowhere anymore. That's great. Yeah. Okay, so instead setting robots no index no follow, it would be very nice to use this for the route rules. We can just check that's great straight away in the subscribe one. What he did here is saying like, okay, please use define route rules, robots false. You just have to get the server started to get some info. And the idea here is to say, okay, with these route rules, also the sitemap module will then know, hey, excluded. And the robots module will actually set no index, no follow for us, which is pretty sweet. All right, perfect. And we're also good here. And these word remarks so far, that seems fine. You know what? Let's give it a go. Let's sync it. Let's check it out in dev as well. Let's do localhost 3000 and check a few sites. Actually, let's use the Nuxt devtools here because they're really, really great integrations for the OG image as well, the link checker. So that works perfectly, but to be fair, there's not much to show here. Articles, and let's check the recap, for example. Let's open this. Yeah. This is exactly how it should be with way less code. The preview, of course, I think that's the Twitter preview. Yeah. On Slack, it looks like this. Fav icon will be fine. I think that's just a tiny thing. To be fair, the new like Twitter preview is really strange with just URL here, but well, what should you do? Documentation. Oh yeah, that's really nice to debug as well. But do we have? Yeah, I think that's pretty decent. Okay, let's check a few other pages, like check speaking real quick. Talks and podcasts. Yeah, we can make it a bit smaller and add that again. PGS hydration demystified. All good. Perfect. Okay. Let's we already pushed it. I think this is good to merge as soon as it's deployed. Let's not mark it draft anymore. So let's go. I think, yeah. Let's make it a chore because it's, in a way, it's not really like a feature. It still does the same thing as before, but we definitely, there are definitely improvements here. So yeah, big thanks to Harlan for that. I was sitting for around a month now, but I'm very happy that I could show it on stream because they're these are really good improvements. And everybody should definitely have a look at Nuxt SEO here. You know what? We'll just squash that straight away. And if the deploy fails for whatever reason, we'll see. So that should be fine. Okay. Let's go back to the main branch, pull the recent changes. And from here, what will we do now from here? Well, thank you for the follow. We check a few more PRs, but also there was one more thing. We added a shared pre-rendered data here. We use Next, lots of interesting things. This one is also really nice for performance, actually. So if you're not aware of that, I also showcased that in the shallow ref guide I published. The idea is by default, use async data will use a ref for data and error, but a shallow ref would be a bit more performant. So you could technically say if you use async data somewhere, let's say here, you could technically say in the end, like something like deep false. You can do something like that. But doing it all the time everywhere is a bit annoying. So deep false will basically mean use a shallow ref, better perf. In the end, not much will change for you, because if the request will be done again, the data will only be replaced, and that's perfect use case for the shallow ref. But we don't want to do this all the time again and again. So there is a way to just say like, you know what, let's define a defaults for use async data, does also use fetch, and just say like, okay, it should always be not deeply reactive, but just top level. And that's a good way to go. Okay. That looks fine. Let's check out some more pull requests, because there are 2 more open. And I would really like to see them eventually merged, because there's some work done so far. Okay, let's check this one out first. The idea was here, if that is live indicator we use for the Twitch indicator here, this thing, which we built also in a stream earlier. If this changes, there should be like a notification going on, because right now, what's happening if that would change? Nothing. It's like, okay, now I see it flashing, cool, but yeah, that's not that much of a big thing. It would be nice to show like a notification, like it was shown when you actually hit the page. So right now, if you go to the page, or I should probably clear my local storage because this is already set. There we go. So here, for example, I see, okay, if you set your language to German, then you get a little pop-up here, and that kind of notification we also want to see otherwise. So the fellow person here provided a pull request for that. It was nothing crazy to change. That's the best part. Like, it's not a huge thing to do, but it's nice for people to give it a try. So we will check that out now. And we will go to that watch. So in the navbar, there the whole thing is. I would debate if that would make sense to do it in the navbar actually. But here we have that status. So I think for now this is okay. A little bit of formatting. I don't use any ESLint config, as I said before. So that's okay. The problem is with this add notification will not work right now, because if we check out how it is used before, we always have to get that from use notification before, like we did here, for example. So it would be nice if we could get that beforehand, otherwise it will not work. And well, then we do that. So we get that here. And now this should work fine. The only thing is, do we want to trigger it when you go like straight away on the page, saying like, okay, if that's the case, let's do it. Or shouldn't we? A little stylistic thing is just do this real quick. So we say, if not is live now, return. It's not necessary, but I would prefer it like that. And like we can test it right away. Let's go to the page, because right now nothing will happen if it will happen if I open the page like that. Because the watcher, well, maybe it will. Let's see. I didn't run the server, sorry. Because the watcher shouldn't trigger initially, but as it's not initially, because the data is not loaded, it should be fine. Let's see. Error while loading? No, I don't think so. Oh, really? Okay, I do think so. Cannot find, yeah, okay. We can install it real quick, because obviously these are still the old dependencies. The PR is also a month old, but that's okay. Let's start Nuxt and see that lovely loading screen. All right, and here we see, okay, live now, but what we don't see is any kind of notification here. So there is an error saying is CE, unhandled, error of execution, hydration. Okay, the hydration we fixed already. So, and components, and okay, this doesn't work here as expected. So how we fix that? Well, first of all, we maybe move this. I would at least give it a try. Move this into an unmounted, or you can even say process.client, but not the biggest fan of process.client in general. And we only watch this once, I think. Does it make sense? No, let's leave the ones out for now. But move that watcher in here. And if we reload now, what will happen? The notification is there. We don't want to trigger it on the server. Doesn't make much sense. It's pre-generated anyway, so we have that in unmounted, and we had that notification, and now it's going as soon as we're there. Only downside, we have no support for links yet, right? So this is not clickable. That's a bit sad. Like, we want to have it clickable. We didn't implement it so far, so maybe we should. Let's go to use notifications here. That's a composable we built a couple months ago or something, and it works fine. The only thing that we should adapt is, let's go into type here, app notification, and let's say it is a string, or we can say we want to provide. Let's make it very simple. The body could either be text as we have it, or we could give him some blocks. So let's say type body block. Let's say body link block is type link, and then href, that's good, and text, perfect. Body block link maybe, and then we have type body block text. We don't need images. Then we just say type text and text string. And we can just provide a string for the easy option, and then we say, or it's an array of body block. We don't have that yet, but we say type body block is just the union of these two. Okay. This should be JS doc by now, by the way. I actually have that info. Okay, so now the body is possible to also be technically to also be an array of blocks. We just have to implement it somehow. So that's the next part. Oh, okay. This will be in a bit, because right now, okay, we have yeah, that's okay. We have the notifications and use notification, and we have a body that we somehow render in the notification area. So here we have a body, or like an app notification. We have a body, and this should be technically the app notification type. For some reason, I couldn't use it last time. We'll try it one more time. And we will import that, and we'll see if that works. And now, if that will be fine, we can't just like render out the body as it is, because, well, that won't work ideally. Yeah, this is a bit strange. I had that a few times now, that I can't use it straight away. Like this fails without TypeScript, which is required for resolving important types. TypeScript is installed, so I mean, I will just take it and install. Well, let's say install this dev dependency. It doesn't really matter, but let's do that. And in the meantime, let's fix that and say, okay, const body, or let's say const transformed body, or let's say body, or let's say message maybe. And this is a computed. We take the props, a specific prop actually, and we say, props.body. Let's make it a proper function here and say if props.body, let's say if type of props.body is string, then we just return it. Then it's fine. Then we're good. And otherwise, that's a bit more complicated now because technically we don't want HTML to be insert. It's a bit meh. But we don't really have a better choice unless we have our own component that actually goes through the things and the blocks. That could be nice. It seems a bit over-engineered, but we'll do it anyway. Because it kind of makes sense. Notification body. Let's do this. So we don't use that. And we have the body here. And we just say notification body. App notification body to be precise, yeah. And we say body is body. Then we don't even need to have the props there. The logic is in the body. We're good. Okay. Let's restart real quick. Notification body. And the only thing is we need, obviously, we define the props. And the only thing here is we need a body, which is type of, well, technically app notification body. That's it. And now it will be interesting. We could say, you know what, it is only a p tag anyway. If, and only if, type of body is string, then it is a p tag only. Otherwise, it's a bit trickier. Here we just render the body. And now everything works so far as usual. And if that's not the case, well, then we have a div with the else. We don't want to use the HTML. Instead, we loop over things. v4. And we do probably use a component is here. So component is, and that's okay. Let's fix the typo here. And we do a v4 entry in body. Because now here we also know, okay, body is definitely an array. And okay, what exactly we want here? We can say, well, body.type is entry. Entry.type is text. Then we could say, okay, you know what? This is just a p tag. And then we just render entry.text. Right? That would be the easiest way, technically. But it's also not really the case. So, you know what? Maybe we use a template here for logical grouping. And now we say, okay, pvf entry.type is text. And otherwise, we do a Nuxt link if entry.type is link. And then we have entry.text. And we have two giving in entry.href. And then also want to provide a key technically, but we maybe are good without one here. We'll see. So now we have the option to okay, we'll check that out in a sec. We will have the option to provide in app notification here the body, which we already do. And let's say in our navbar, we say body is an array. And now we have type text. And then we have, yeah, well, what we had before, right? Text go to. And the next thing will be type link. href will be the actual link. And the text will be the stream. Now, maybe add here at the moment. Something like that. Let's see if that actually works. Ah, yeah, almost. I have a little mistake still in the notification body because you want to render entry.txt here. Okay. Go to the stream now. I click. That works. Yeah. We also want to maybe provide let's do a target here too, which is in this case is already always blank. It's always external for now. And another thing we really want to do is if we have multiples, then we have inline block here. And probably the links themselves should be 2. Yeah, because right now there's the P. Yeah, okay. And the Nuxt link probably too, but we'll see. This and yeah, now we deal a bit with the issue, but I'm wondering, could we just render a P? Could we get along with rendering a P tag and A tags in there? Would that work? Let's say we have a P tag in here, and instead of rendering a P there, we just render a template. Would that work? A P in span, yeah, that's also a good suggestion. That's also a nice idea. Do I feel like I might have issues with the spacing again? I think just going with no wrapper at all might work as well. What do you think? Just testing the same thing, like with some text after. I probably have to reload. That worked too, yeah. Nice. Okay, the mismatch we fixed already. Just have to sync that. Oh, now it's not coming up anymore. Ah, there, some text after. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. We save one more element per text technically, and maybe give this a class saying underline, hover no underline, to make clear this is actually a link. But yeah, okay. That also means I could improve the in app.view. There is this notification here when we use a different domain, and we can do the same here, saying, you know what, type text text is this. Did you want to go to? We keep that. We put here instead, and here we do type link href is this, and text is actually, let's make the text optional because we can just use href if we don't need that. So we'll even improve that a little bit. Text optional, and in the body we render text or entry href just in case. Okay, we tried it. We can't try it out here because I technically could set the ref. We could try this out like this. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Is this the right ref? Oh, I wrote Discord actually. Yeah, this is like this, or just this. Let's check in a second. No. App.view. The ref has to be ref queried. Yeah, this. Oh. Actually, writing that and instead. Okay. Yeah, link should be in quotes. Thanks for the heads up. That's totally correct. Okay, I think I can remove the wing smiley here because we're good with that. Before we had it on top here, maybe adding some kind of emoji here because why not? And okay, nice. Yeah, we can technically also change the icon and whatnot. Maybe that could be nice for the Twitch one as well, because we could update that. So this is happening in the navbar. I'm not super happy that this is happening in the navbar right now, but well, I can name MDI Twitch and icon class is okay. Text purple 700. If that's the way to go. Yep, seemed fine to me. There's a type. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's actually intended. I think so. If you go to discord.com, which is not Discord, but type the wrong URL there, that seems like a spam or scammy URL. Then you land on my website. Yep, it was really funny. I got the URL when it was still discordapp.gg. It was free, and I thought, wait a second, that could be helpful one day. And yeah, here we go. I already wrote them like, hey, you want to use the domain or whatever, but I got no response. So I was like, okay, then I get there. And the funniest part is, I will show that right away. The the traffic is really funny. So, oh no, wrong side. If you go here and we see that actually top sources there, Discord, but the wrong version.com, 1.3k people come just by that for the last 30 days. So there are lots of people typing that wrong. And I at least wanted to give them a little heads up saying, hey, there you go. Now they can also just click on it. I also got like one or two like tweets saying, oh, come on. So yeah. Glad you appreciate and enjoy that. I liked it a lot, and yeah, there we go. Now we even have a clickable URL, so that's even nicer. All right, that's PR seems fine to me now. A little bit of work was done. Had we improved it here and there quite a bit, giving some new capabilities, I would not expect that necessarily from anyone working on that. So that's of course fine. Let's do the following. Let us let's put in a work in progress here, and let's just merge based on main so we can resolve conflicts again. Okay, this is a bit older one than I see. Yeah, I think this is literally what we just did. Current changes versus incoming. So we take the current ones. One user speaks German. It should still be there somewhere. Yeah, okay. No other conflicts, I hope. Yeah, you should double check URL. Yeah, we also take current. And is there... Yeah, I think that's fine. I really don't like this editor by now. I realized I really like to do that manually in a way. Or like at least see that step by step. Anyway, that seems fine. Package JSON, conflicts. Yeah, well, that's okay. We will take the incoming ones and add TypeScript. Well, so technically we take both. Let's do it this way and add this. Okay. Okay. And pnpm log as usual. We remove it, installed again. Okay. Wait, that should probably also be devtools, but it really doesn't matter. Maybe I'll talk about a bit later why dependencies versus dependencies is not a huge deal. Okay, we can add all. We can commit this. Let's push it all the way up. And let's have a look on this one. Oh no. I have the feeling I messed something up a little bit, but let's see. Because this should be somewhere before already. Or is it just that old? Because, yeah, that's correct. That's fine. And it's based on main. Okay. Because this should be there already. Like that. This is new. This is fine. This is okay. We updated this. We updated this as well. We're trying this and it apparently works, which is great. Can finally remove the to-do here, which we'll do in a second. This part is just a bit off. Maybe I never committed that. I'm not sure because I wanted to put it for long. Let's check the whole thing out. Oh yeah, use site notification is gone. Yeah, I think I messed it up during the PR. Yeah, because it's here. Yeah, okay. This is just a dupe. You know what? Let's take this and take incoming. Let's take the incoming ones. But where's use site notifications? It's here. Yeah, perfect. And then we update it here. Strange. This is fine. There we go. This. Some formatting. Okay. Yeah, also here I really like to apply the concept of inline composables. Maybe you are already aware of that. It's a little bit controversial though, apparently, with like I structure my things into composables that I don't, well, I don't extract them, I leave them in here. And just like, okay, use site notifications. And in here I have another composable, for example, that I call, but that doesn't have to dangle outside here. And that way I group my stuff. Like, oh, on mounted, do this and this. Yeah, to me that feels, let's say, natural in a way. It took me a while to get used to it, but I think it makes lots of sense. I also talked about it a little bit in a video on YouTube. So if you've never seen that or think that makes sense, definitely give it a go. Now we're good here. Navbar, we also use add notifications. As I said, I don't feel it's the best position, or like the best part where it can live. Like technically we want to fetch the status straight away and the navbar is always there and we just want to use it there. So in a way, yeah, it's nice to have that here, but in another way, it would be also great to not fetch it there, but maybe earlier, like in the app. But that's something maybe I'll write it to do. Maybe fetch in app.view and pass to the navbar. Because I feel like ideally this should all do also in the app.view because it's not like strictly tied to the navbar, especially with the whole notifications now. But yeah, other than that, I think it makes sense. We're good. Okay. Oh yeah, I want to remove this to do. Oops. It's in the body. We did this now. For some reason it didn't work before, but now it seems fine. Once again, I will run this and check. We also don't need the emit here, of course. That's all older. We need that import. We resolve this. Perfect. Route should not be unknown. Wait, we have the route somewhere. Or didn't we? We didn't use it anywhere. Okay. Well. I think $route should also work. This should be fine. But oh, yeah, fair. Oh, routed path. Oh, haha. Yes. Naming collisions. Okay. We have these. We're fine here. We're fine there. Okay. PR is good to go. All right. And we're already on for quite a bit. On 1 hour 45 minutes. It's great. In latest 15 minutes, I will actually start a new project with Nuxt. Mainly because this is necessary for the thesis I am writing right now. But I will talk about that in roughly 15 minutes. Maybe you can get something else done until then. Okay. All right. Let's deploy preview. Oh yeah, I think I stopped applying to that. Thanks a lot for the follow. Thank you. All right. Let's write a text. Thanks a lot for your time and work. I've adapted the PR a little to well, and added some functionality. Also, the PR without the add notification didn't work fully, but still, it was a good first try. Let's say feed add notification or show notification when streaming live, or when stream starts. That's also not correct. When streaming live is correct, because it doesn't only do it when it switches, it actually does it straight away. Okay, wait for this. Yeah, don't have to check profile. Getting there. There's one more button change, which is not too big. And for this, I think it would be really good. Oh yeah, one sec. Before we jump to that, we also want to tag the right PR here. This. So it will actually be closed. All right, let's deploy here. And this should also cover a PR, the button gradient border. So this is an interesting one. And there's a tweet. Of course, there's a tweet from Jhay, which is pretty cool. So like, okay, you can make these gradient borders. And right now, I also create these, but with few more elements. So, oh yeah, I'm not sending into X here, which is a bit unfortunate. Let me just do this real quickly on the other side. I could also send here, but where is the code pen? There's the code pen. Okay, let's open this here. And the idea is that you really don't have to do much. You technically just have the article, in this case the card here, and some content in. Oh, okay, yeah. It doesn't even have to be a p tag inside. So this is pretty cool. Can be done with little bit of CSS, obviously. And because right now, we're going to take a look at the actual app button that I have right now. It is a bit trickier. So I use 3 elements for that. And maybe have a look on the website as well. So this is about this one. So if we have a look, we have 3 layers here just for that button. Or in this case, it's a link that looks like a button, but you get me. And the point is, okay, what do we have here? Well, first of all, we have that absolute layer that basically says, okay, we need the gradient border. Okay, with a lower z index. Then we have the text. Okay, any kind of text. And then we have a layer that is also lower than the text, but still on top of the gradient, saying, okay, you know what? This is just a black background that's a bit smaller than the whole button. And when I hover, it's gone. So this is how I do the gradient borders, which is, it works, but it still needs 3 elements. I would love to just keep it at 1. That would be nice. And I'm not sure if the PR fully solves this, but we'll have a look into this. I commented a few things here and there, and I will have a look. Yeah, so we will not use article here, and that's fine. Okay, let's check it out and see. Maybe we can do that in a way. Also, let's maybe rebase that, or like not rebase. Let's update the branch, or it's maybe I can't. I will do that anyway in a bit. Okay, let's check it out, and let's do rebase. Oh, it already has conflicts. It shouldn't have conflicts actually. Weird. Then we do it later on. Then I report it. That's fine. We'll still have a look at the button. Install dependencies, start the thing. Okay, I mean, the whole point is if we don't need pseudo classes, then we don't really need to apply that. We can just apply selected look all. So that can go into all. But let's deal with this in a second. We don't have any main anymore anyway. Because if we don't need pseudo anymore, which would be great, we can just apply that. But first, let's see if it actually works. That's the most important part. Let's dive in. And yeah, it doesn't really work. Because if we have a closer look, let me zoom in more. We see that the borders, okay, there's a bit too much, maybe like this. The borders on the side are smaller, so that doesn't really fix it. And also if we hover, the border on the side is like not a gradient anymore. So nope, that doesn't work. Okay, given the time, I'll just comment and say like, okay, this fails deploying. We'll see that in a second. Let's comment on the other one. Thanks for your work so far. Unfortunately, the styles don't match the original. Let's put in a screenshot. And say the border on the side is thinner than on the top, bottom. Also, when hovering, there is no gradient anymore. Okay. Let's see why this fails, because I think it should not, but hey. Building failed because of... what? OG images fail. Okay. Descriptive text, we can have a look into that. This could be. But... okay, that's strange. Oh, wait. Does it also mean... oh, no. Does it also mean the main thing failed? I have a feeling. Okay. Yeah. Because of some... I see. So Satori from Nuxt OG image that's used under the hood requires certain values for CSS properties, and I don't think they're matched here correctly, so that breaks. That's really not good. Let me have a quick look on Netlify, because I think the previous build also broke. Yep. Okay. So maybe I can just, yeah, I can show the log noise. Same idea, basically. Also use site config. Okay, there's some circular dependency going on. Not a big deal because it should still work, but still not nice. And yeah, here we go with Satori. Icon unknown, invalid utility. Okay. This is the speaking one. Okay, let's fix that in the meantime then. Let's go to main. Fix OG image. Install dependencies again, and let's go for it. We don't save any of these. So we have the speaking OG image and icon. Oh, icon is not set anywhere. Also don't use icon here at all. Where do I use icon? Just for the service provider? Yeah, that's fine. That shouldn't be a big deal. What is with icon? Okay, anywhere, everywhere, of course, but nope. The workshop one here. Okay. Well, let's see what will happen in dev. I mean, we checked it, but the problem is that in prod and in dev things can look very differently. Where did this fail though? It's always for inline block. So must be for speaking then, yeah. Okay. Okay. That's already a start. Okay. Yeah. All right, let's see what's going on here. Resolve component can only be used in regular setup. Yeah. Paragraph. Here. No. Oh, we saw that a bit earlier. Yeah, cannot read property. Null of isCE. Pause and button. That's not good. Okay. Wait. This is strange. Indeed, it gives us exactly that. Resolve component can be used in render setup, and this is the case. Cannot read isCE. Because it does not render instance. Okay, yeah. But where exactly is the root cause of that? Let's check where I use resolve component in the first place. I don't think. Oh. Ah, maybe it's correct. Maybe this was just an honest mistake. Let's just do applink component. I'll just do applink, you know. Because it's true, it is done in the computed, which is not really necessary. Oh yeah, no, exclude all of them. Will this help? No. Okay, I've never seen that error actually. That's not good. This is happening in app button, which is technically used everywhere. So let's just, you know what? Let's just do the following. Let's just replace it with an A, just in case. See if this is the problem. It's not. Okay, just double checking. Not this is. Yeah, 2021. Okay, this is not really up to date. Okay. Some messed up view versions somewhere, I guess. Okay, let's clear it again. So apparently there are two view versions used right now because of some dependencies. At least that's my guess. Yeah, Nuxt icon view 345 and 3418. I think that's the problem here. And also, yeah, a few of them. Okay. Just check if there anything that must be considered here. Yeah, okay. Then we just install it fresh. Bump Nuxt SEO as well while we're on it. I think that's just the problem here, that there are two different view versions. This, I'll still keep that here because I think we don't need to resolve it all the time. Yeah. Usually there are other error messages for that, but I think that might be the case here, which is not ideal. But hey, if it would work now, it would be lovely. Otherwise, I might just, Oh, that was quick. Let's maybe also bump Nuxt SEO. Nuxt.js SEO still. Okay. So good to know. If that ever happens to you, just refresh log file and things should be fine ideally. It's not even a fix of OG image because, oh, that's the next thing, right? Like we fixed we fixed the main stuff. Now we go to the OG image, which is also what stopped our build from working out. I don't think that will resolve everything by now, but let's see. Still invalid CSS property for display. So let's go to a speaking page, check it out with Satori and have a look. Nuxt devtools. And we render it with Satori, not with Chromium. Maybe you could also just change it to render it with Chromium. But let's do that later. Let's do this here. It doesn't break. It seems fine to me. Okay, we go through a few things. Oh, it's always rendered, right? It's not, yeah. We checked it already. That was before the logo. Okay, seems reasonable to me. Let's try it again. Yeah, okay, this was just an error for Chrome, which tried to create a browser and didn't work, which is fine. Any other issues in the console or anything? Let's switch to something and see. No. All good, all works here. Also, I really like that submit an issue button straight away here saying, oh yeah, I have a problem. Please go for it. That's really cool. Huh, German umlaut's not working. Yeah, okay. Fair. But let's jump back here. Okay, we can probably close that. Let's see if the deploy preview works. What we can do technically is we can run it here as well. We can just say pnpm generate, and we can say Nitro preset is Netlify and do that. Or we can even do pnpm generate, I think -- preset Netlify. Oh no, that won't work. But this way it should work. There's probably another command for that, but no. Preset Netlify? Did I set up? Oh, well, we don't even need a Netlify preset because I always force the static one. Because I don't deploy an edge functions right now anyway, so it should be tagged in the Nuxt config, and probably I have it hard-coded. Do I? No, I don't. But when I call generate, it might be anyway. Let's see. Yeah, that we've seen before. Let's check server utils feed real quick. Interesting. Get site config options. Or undefined. That doesn't fully work out, but we'll see. I mean, it worked, right? That's the interesting part, but maybe event path might be a better way. But the idea is to provide a path itself. No. Well, let's see. They're generating nicely. You know what? Let's have a look at the next site config one. And check the utils. here is a use site config, it's called. It gets with site URLs existing as well, but we used. Oh yeah, it was use site config. That's correct then. And with site URL might be just helper anyway. But that only takes the string. Okay, I'll have to double check that then. That might break it though. Like this should technically. I mean, can't we just join it with like let's do this. And maybe use join URL from UFO. I think that would be the easiest. Not exactly, but close enough. Yeah, I think here just the types are wrong, but that should work. Anyway. Okay, should have descriptive text. That's fine. We'll fix that in another time. But other than that, things seem to work for me. The with site URL, okay, that's a bit strange. The use site config, maybe. If I directly import it, I'm not sure if that will work though. I don't think it's the right one anyway. Yeah, but it also seems wrong. Okay, let's stick with this for now and see what happens on the latest deploy. Yeah, this is working. Okay, cool. That seems to be it. Great. All right. We shift our focus a little bit and actually create a new application, a fully new application, which will be, yeah, what will be? The thing is, I have to build a little blog with Nuxt.js very soon. Technically, it should be already there, and almost is. But it's like not as I did right now with personal site or to showcase Nuxt contour or similar. It's more to measure performance. So we will just create a fully new project for my thesis when I'm writing in computer science about comparing server-side rendering framework performances. So we will have a look on how we do that and build our Nuxt block. And then I will also move that over to Angular and so Angular Next.js. And then it will be compared in the future through some benchmarks. And in the very near future, actually, in the next month, that will happen. So I think it would be really nice to create the setup for the benchmarks. So I will create quickly a folder and we init the whole thing with pnpm init, and we jump in any second. All right, here we go. Everything's empty. We just have, well, we have a package JSON saying SSR benchmark, and that's it. And the idea is what we would technically want to do is we want to have like one, let's say we have like one apps folder, obviously for all the applications. So we have like, I don't know, blog Nuxt, blog Next, blog Angular. There will be another type of application, which we'll talk about next time. And we also want to have maybe an API, let's say blog API. And that blog API should just emit static JSON files. So no Markdown, no HTML, because with Markdown, okay, we don't want to benchmark how well, I don't know, Nuxt content or Next.js or MVC or whatever parses Markdown. We rather want to benchmark how fast the frameworks load these things. So that will be one thing, but this will come in the end. First, we want to do a little init. Also no module. We want to do npx nuxi at latest init blog Nuxt. And we use pnpm, of course. Oh, this is not ideal, but we'll be fine. So we don't need to init a git repo, and we're good. Okay, let's actually go in here, start the whole thing, and it will be very, very simple for the beginning, but it will hopefully be very helpful. Of course, we start with the classics. So what do we need for that? Well, technically nothing. We don't really need many modules. We will use Nuxt image later on. So let's do add Nuxt image later on for improvements, but before we go with some raw stuff. And component wise, what do we want? Well, we want an app footer. That would be nice. A header would be nice. And then we need some pages. So let's say we need pages index.view. And we need pages, I don't know, posts. And then we have the slug here, view. And this is technically all we need for the very, very simple blog. Of course, a few more components would be very helpful, and they come in as we need them. But for that, that's it. And I think the easiest would be just provide some very simple JSON for the start. So let's say, or like, yeah, can be even, maybe JSON is the easiest. I don't know, posts, or not JSON, something like that. And ideally it has a title, of course, some blog title. And then we have, if you want to the author, the date, that's also fine. And from here, we have to think a little bit like, okay, how do we wanna do that? Because we can't just say like, okay, here's some text, and that starts. That's a bit tricky. We have some excerpt. That's fine. That can be provided. That is a bit longer. Maybe, yeah. Okay, something like that. And then let's do some content. And content is a bit trickier because, we don't really need HTML because we don't want to benchmark eventually how well frameworks can insert HTML. It's more about components, rendering things, and be a bit closer to like a real world application without measuring the performance of modules, without basically with as less noise as possible. So in the end, it would be pretty nice to have like some type of like type, I would say text, but like paragraph or something, and then have some text here. Then yeah, adding some image, adding some more text, and we can render something like that. Then of course the blog posts will be like some shorter, some longer. That's also fine, but it's just like a basic scaffold. And the idea is that we will build a little bit on the API side, something like the JSON placeholder or just JSON placeholder API, right? Like something like this. I don't think they have dark mode, so sorry for that. So basically just, yeah, like this, perfect. But of course with a bit more content. And not just text, but different different types of content. And then the idea is same API, 3 frameworks, and going for that. The idea with a dashboard is pretty nice. I also thought about that. The problem is that I especially want to measure SSR performance, and in a dashboard, it's not like the typical application for server-side rendering. Actually, most dashboards are behind authentication, so SSR is not really needed. Like the data table approach, I think that's really nice for the client-side performance, and there are lots of benchmarks on that. But with server-side, there is not that much going on. That's why I don't know, like for example, charts, data tables are a bit out of the scope here. It's really more about, let's say, having some pages with higher DOM nodes, with medium DOM nodes, low DOM nodes. So like, I don't know, Hello World, for example, would be like a tiny example. It's not really representative, but it still has to exist to see like, okay, how much overhead is there for server-side rendering. And then compared to like, I don't know, something with 800 DOM nodes, which is like a, I don't know, medium blog post, or something that's even bigger, or something in the middle. Yeah, sorry, I should mention that. It's purely about server-side rendering. And because there are lots of benchmarks for the other things. It's a bit easier, but with SSR, it's tricky because it starts with, where do you start benchmarking? Like, do you start benchmarking Vue and React solely as their frameworks with just like the render to string option, which you can do, but it's also in a way not really representative. For example, most applications are built with meta frameworks anyway when they use SSR. No, like almost nobody rolls their own Vue SSR by hand. There are various options to do that, of course, and there are other frameworks like Quasar. There are plugins like Vike where you can do that. But still, most of the Vue SSR applications are built with Nuxt. And for React, it's okay, you have Remix, of course, you have Gatsby. But still, like Next.js is the biggest framework there, giving lots of, let's say, SSR capabilities of like, oh yeah, you can do like, I don't know, partial pre-rendering and all that. So that's also something that should influence the benchmarks in a way, because just raw performance of these underlying frameworks is not really close to real world. Plus also, for example, React with React Server Components, they do more in the core when it comes to SSR, even though this is rather new. While, for example, Vue, and Evan mentioned that a couple of times, is not really exploring everything with regards to server-side rendering improvements in the core itself necessarily, but more working together with Nuxt as a meta framework to release it there and to play around there. So people are not forced into using the server-first world, but can still do things client only. But if they want to opt in, then Nuxt is a good choice. Yeah, very lengthy explanation, but that's roughly why. That's the idea behind it. All right. Yeah, I was thinking maybe it could even make sense to build the API first and do a little bit of Nitro things. For Angular, I plan to use Universal. Yeah. I was looking. This is also interesting. I was looking a bit into analog as framework, which also uses Nitro under the hood, by the way. And the problem is that right now there are only beta releases of analog. And Angular Universal is like the way to go if you build an Angular SSR application, or if you have one already. So that's why the idea is to compare that to Angular Universal. And then in the end, Angular comes with lots of things out of the box, especially compared to like React or Vue. So there is a reason why there was no meta framework for Angular for a long time, because there was no big need in a way. I mean, yeah, there was Scully for SSG then, but I think Angular has lots of capabilities already out of the box that justifies being compared to next to Nuxt. And this is Bit of. There we go. Oh yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for being interested in it. Always happy to share my thoughts on that. And of course, there will be, in the end, there will be like, I don't know, 60 to 100 pages thesis about why, what was chosen, and so on. So there is, yeah, it's basically like a big, long, well, we could even say almost a book of like, okay, how to justify, like, I don't know, why even comparing React, Vue, and Angular with their respective meta frameworks, in case Angular without it, why not Svelte, why not Solid, why not Quick? In the end, I think all of them deserve a comparison, but for the time given, it's difficult to choose more than 3 frameworks plus 3 project scenarios. So you already have like 3x3, like 9 applications, and you go to 12 if you say raw applications versus improved ones, or even more. So at some point you have to draw a line there, and yeah, but still you need to argument like, oh, why this, why that. But yeah, will be definitely interesting, and will be available to read as soon as it's out. Deadline is technically in a month and 2 days, so on the 13th of March. And I really hope I'm done until then. But I'm pretty convinced and confident that it will happen. Anyway, yeah, maybe start here, and like, you know what? Maybe we start there and build a little blog API, which we of course want to do with Nitro pack. So that's the nicest part. We can technically just say like, okay, we have one Nitro API. The JSON is cached, can be cached to infinity. Of course, we can like warm it up and use that for all of them, deployed with the applications, or like an Amazon EC2 for benchmarking. And yeah, I think then nobody's really bothered. So yeah, that should work ideally. So maybe, you know what? Let's do this. So we have our own scaffolding tool for, well, lots of things. Nitro app is in here now, and we'll take all of that and move this out because we already have things here. Okay, and we're good. So maybe we'll just open the blog API itself and work with that. Let me quickly update the. Yep. Now we don't need the repo yet. Let me update the code real quick so we can actually follow along here. And there we go. So, okay, with this index route, that's fine. And also, of course, you could do the same thing in Nuxt. That's the best part. Like, you can do all of that in your Nuxt application, which is pretty awesome. Let's, let's install some deps first. And then we can run dev and see that things work. And let's see what we can build in roughly 30 minutes. To build our Nitro API from scratch. Let's update that here real quick. Okay. And now localhost 3000, here we go. It is there, it works. Beautiful. Okay. So what's happening here? Well, we have a route index, just returning that. Might have to, here I can do probably also reload project, but it should take the Nitro types in here. That should work in theory, but sometimes VS Code is acting up. Like here it says it can't find that, though I don't think so. Then we have to do reload window, and hopefully things will just pop out working as they should. And it looks like. Okay. So what we want to do, well, we want to get some data. So let's have posts. And then here we need a slug .ts. Also only need get, that's the best part. And we also should put that into assets, but we'll load it later on in a bit. Of course, also we define a Nitro event handler here. we say const slug is event, or say get route router param event and slug. That is correctly suggested by Copilot. If they're not available, well, I don't think that will happen, but still throw create error. Yeah, 400 message. Oh, wait. Message missing slug and status code 400. Okay. And then technically we could just say, you know what, return the post here. So what we could do is we can just return static data. You could import, for example, the JSON all the time, maybe a JSON with one post and then get it out. But also we could use use storage for that. So let me show this real quick in the Nitro doc. Nitro .njs.io, nitro.njs.io. Lovely. So the nice part is in here we have a storage layer in Nitro. So you can technically mount any kind of storage. That could be in memory, that could be file, that could be a Cloudflare KV, Verso, Azure, whatnot. All kind of KV storage. Redis are supported. Lots of drivers available. You could also do it in dev only if you want to, for example, and it's really powerful. Also, as usual, the same applies to Nuxt. Nuxt uses it under the hood, Nuxt content as well, and it's pretty useful. So the idea is here, for example, we could just use the so-called server assets. So if you have an assets folder, that's added to the server bundle eventually, and you can access them through asset server. So technically you could just say, okay, await use storage asset server, get item based on the slug, and then get it. And that's what we will do. So we will technically just put assets posts or something like that somewhere and retrieve that. And let's see how we can make that happen. First, we create that assets folder. We put posts in here. And then, yeah, let's just do one.json, why not? And let's say const post is use storage, server posts, and then we say get item. Here plus JSON, of course. And here we say slug .json, right? Template string, lovely. We await that. We say if there is no post, okay, then we want to throw a create error saying post not found. Otherwise, we want to return the post. And let's have a look on how that will happen or not happen. Let's do post 1. And we say it's 404. Okay, let's have a look why. I said server post. I think it should be assets post. But hey, let's give it another try. And okay, it's still 404. I think it should be assets server post. We have to move that, I think, in here, if I'm not wrong. Server. Let's double check the docs again because I haven't used server assets for a while. Asset server get item. Yeah, okay. Asset server. I should work with post technically. I think asset server post. And we jump back in here. Nope. Okay. Wait, worst case we just mount our own one. Let's just do assets server, put it in here. The slug should fit. Absolutely not. It's empty. Okay. What is if we just log get items here? We can't. Dot get keys, I think, yeah. Let's log this real quick and check. Yeah. Server 1.json. Oh, because it's Okay, assets, posts, and like this. Now we need posts 1.json. That should work. Okay, now it's fully gone. Interesting. Oh, because yeah, well, because I removed the file. Okay, lovely. Let's delete this permanently. Just get the 1.json here real quick. Add some tests info here. Okay, perfect. And now if we would actually put it into posts as we did before, we need to add that to the prefix. So add the get item post / plus slug plus JSON. Here we go. Let's check out if that works. Yeah, here we get the data. Okay. So we use the server assets for that. We get our data. And if it's not there, as we've seen before countless times, it breaks. As in, it will stop doing things. And now I could even say, yeah, you know what? Right now, let's see how fast it actually is. If we take the network tab, if we reload this, this is in development. It's not that fast. Like it takes 4 seconds, right? Caching was disabled. Now it's a bit faster. Now it's just 4 milliseconds, and that seems more reasonable. So that's good. But of course, the first hit is a bit meh. Good part is, or like if we fully like do a full reload, then it takes a bit longer, which makes sense. It's also in dev. We could even say to do it further, we use the route rules and say, you know what, /posts /*. Well, what could we say? We could say eyes are true, saying, okay, you know what? Technically, if it's hit first, then that's it. It will be the answer will be generated once, and from then on it's cached. We could even say pre-render true, which might be the easiest by just saying, yeah, you know what? Technically, we want to pre-render all the results that we get because it's static data anyway, and then there is no impact at all performance-wise. Maybe a few milliseconds overhead, a bit like when you pre-render your Nuxt results or your Nuxt pages. The problem is with this, I have to double check. I think there was an idea to deprecate the pre-rendering for for all the URLs here, because you can't really infer what is behind there. You don't know the dynamic parameters. That only works if you somehow have a crawler. So technically, let's say const URLs is same. Let's just say post names is, yeah, well, wait, it's true. We could even do this with view storage if you want to. Okay, let's note down as an idea. Get keys from use storage somehow, then generate, or simply read the file system. Of course, another option would be, as it before, eyes are true and then warm it up, because we know how many posts there are. We know all the keys. That's not that big of a deal. But that could work, and that's technically it. For the post, there's not much to do except adding that, defining a format, and all that. But I think otherwise, that looks pretty simple and sane, which is also the fun part. Like, okay, just putting out some data from somewhere, and it could be changed, added, and so on, is really as simple as just one little route with not even 15 lines of code. And yeah, of course we could consume that now in our Nuxt application. I think the next step would be like drafting out a little bit, as I did before, what exactly the blog post should be, to make some longer, some not so long. And yeah, I think other than that, this is a good start. We could also say, hey, okay, we cache these results, or we do a defined cached event handler here. That's a bit similar to route rules, while we have more options, like we can provide functions, say, hey, when do you want to bypass the cache, when you do want to do what, and all that. I think the start is good for that. Okay, you know what, maybe then let's switch back to the blog Nuxt application. And let's continue over here. Let's start this probably on another port. No, it's on 3K because we stopped the other. Perfect. Okay, server, we won't need a server folder for this at the moment. I wonder if there's any merit later on for optimization. We'll just leave it there for now, it's fine. And well, technically what we want to do here, let's start with the runtime config maybe. We say API URL, and we just do localhost 3001 as example. Or we could actually say, why not proxying that? That might be a bit better approach. We don't deal with CORS, and that will work fine. So we could also say, you know what? Let's do that differently. Let's just say route rules here as well, and we do slash, I don't know, post, not a good idea. Blog API. We just to say proxy, and proxy that to 3001. So yeah, you know what? Let's try it out. Let's bring up the other application real quick. I start this on the 3001, and we also want to proxy that to, well, don't have to proxy the post. We'll see. Let's keep it here for now. Let's go here and say we want to render data. We want to say use fetch blog API posts. Just do 1 for now, because why not? And have a look. Oh yeah, welcome to Nuxt. Thanks. Great. That's a good point. We should clear. Oh well, now I removed the app. We might actually need it later on, because we want to render a header here. Then we have Nuxt page. Like, I don't know, div or main or something. Then we have app footer. Something like that, structure wise. Let's see. Okay, a blank empty page. So we get we get calls, I guess. Oh no, well, no match found for location with path block API post 1. Interesting. What does our API says? Will it be hit at all? I don't think so. Let's quickly save that and posts as well. So if we do this, we should get the data. Yeah. Okay. I think we have to use the star here. Okay, getting there. Now everything is just proxied. To the main one, which is not the idea. And here we go. Sorry for the white screen and everything, but here we go. this is exactly what we want. Let's add a second post just so we can show that real quick. And maybe add a list here. Oh yes, also something we should get. Get a list of posts and their exert and stuff. Yeah. Let's do it real quick. Let's say we just fetch posts. That's like basically the exert. And we have an unordered list. v4 entry in data, and we put the Nuxt link here to say go to posts slash something, and the something is entry dot slug, I guess. We go with any here for now. We share the types. I mean, Nitro generates the types. That's the best part. We could probably share them all along anyway. I will have a look into that later on. And then we say here entry dot title, I guess, for the blog post name. We still have to implement this, and we will do this real quick in our blog API over here. Blog API project. Let's say posts index.get.ts. And we do what we did before, more or less from here. We'll copy that over. And let's just say we get the keys. Or it's a bit tricky. We can't say let's get the keys. We technically need all the items. If we don't want to do like pagination or something, you could say like, okay, get all the items available. And then compile a list with the name, the excerpt, and so on, and render that. So yeah, that would be a thing. Get items needs, definitely, yeah, I thought so. Okay, let's say const keys. We get all the keys, then we get all the items. Maybe that's easier. Const items is, yeah. And let's just return the items for now. And see what's happening. We don't need a slug, of course. Of course, the key value store is no database in that sense, but let's see what will happen. Okay. We got the key and no value. That makes sense in a way. Let's log the keys. I have the feeling. We could fetch it parallel as well. Let's quickly have a look into the. Okay, that's fine. Into the Nitro docs or source code. For nope. For get items. No get items at all. That's a bit unfortunate. We go to unstorage, which is the underlying package. Has a lovely doc, get items. Oh yeah, experimental in parallel, I see. Okay, so we use it correctly, just it's experimental and doesn't necessarily work as we expect right now. Because the keys are correct. Like if we log the keys here, let's just log the keys and the items. Maybe let's just log both. I think what we do is right, but yeah, it doesn't resolve the value here for some reason. But if we would log, let's say const item is wait use storage get item, and we base that on key 0, would that work? It should in theory. Yeah, that works fine. Okay. So we can't use get items. That's fine. Let's just do a function. You write get items. We say keys is a string array. And we say exactly this. We await that as well. So we do more or less what the function should do. We wrap it in promise.all, and we should get a result. Yep. Okay, that works. And then we can probably strip the key, saying key dot replace both with nothing and dot JSON. If you're really correct, we could even do like this. Same here, we should use a regex to make sure we only strip the start and the end of it. But here it can't be anything else technically. Because it only replaced the first instance and it will always have posts, but the .json in theory could be someone saying like, oh, it shouldn't be 1, 2, 3, but .json, and yeah, we don't want to deal with that. Okay. That works. That's fine. And okay, things work as expected. Now we could say, instead of key, maybe we name it slug. That's fine. We would have to provide some kind of type for the JSON that will be returned. That's also okay for here at least, because right now it's a storage value, but we should provide it somehow. Let's consume this in our Nuxt application and check out how we can render that. Well, technically this should already go well, more or less. Not post 1, of course, but just posts. Posts does not exist. Oh no, it's just index. That's true. Okay, we have nothing, almost nothing. Let's log entry, because there is the entries there. Oh, we don't have the title, of course. We just provide a slug here, maybe. It's the easiest. Nice. Works. Perfect. Oh yeah, dot slice 6 minus 4 would also work. That's true. That's a good point. Like here, wait, in the blog API one here, you could do, yeah, just slice the start, slice the end, something like that. That's true. I mean, in all cases, if the key changed, you'd have to change it too. Yep. Good point. Okay. Yeah, I think we're at a really good spot. I'll continue working on that in the future because, well, it's time. But that way we can print out all the posts. We can give the excerpts. Here we have to, let's say, to do strip unnecessary data, only title, excerpt, author, etc. So we don't give the content here. We could also do that here. But yeah, I think we're in a pretty decent position here right now. The chat is not. Maybe let's move them over here, like there. Hi. Yeah, we have 5 more minutes left, which is not that much. So if you have any questions, ideas for stream topics, videos, bring them on now. If we go like a few minutes over, it's also not a problem. But yeah, if there's something, then yeah, please let me know now. I'm very happy to answer them, to give some feedback. So yeah, that's your chance. Chat is sleeping. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's Sunday, it's evening. People are like just relaxing on the couch, maybe, or co-work a little bit. Depends. But it's fine. I mean, if there are no questions, also no problem. Otherwise, always feel free to drop me a comment, a Discord message, a message on Twitter or X or whatever. So whatever you prefer. Yeah, of course. You're welcome. I think. Yeah, I'm waiting for a few more minutes for comments. Other than that, I will fix one tiny thing in the application and on the website that I almost forgot about, which shouldn't take longer than a few minutes. But yeah, once again, your chance for the questions. In the meantime, navbar. We go to main. And there's this Twitch indicator here. This one. And the problem is that, and it's kind of correct saying, yeah, okay, if it's live, then show something. The problem is that the link will still be there even if we're not live, and that's really not ideal. So, and also this is not ideal, I just see. So the problem is, imagine we would not be live right now. So let's say just false here and real quick start this on 3002. The link would still be there, and even though there would be no text, it would still be clickable. Okay, question before. How long did it take you to get proficient at coding like this? First of all, thanks for the question. I think so. I started coding, if you want to call it coding, when I was like 13, when like Minecraft was like big hype and everything. It was like, oh, cool. Then switched rather fast to PHP because Java felt like a bit bloated, lots of boilerplate and stuff. And from there, I used a lot of Laravel, then switched over to Vue in 2015, 16-ish, something like that. And I work with Nuxt since 2017, late 2017. But yeah, in the end, it really comes down to like gathering experience by realizing some projects and also having someone looking over your stuff. Like that's, I think, what I like the most throughout my career, let's say, is like I never had like a formal mentor, like a supervisor or like a team manager or a senior developer that like could help me fixing code and stuff. So I think I really tried always to like, even though it sounds a bit stupid, like follow project structures, align with like, or in the beginning write nice commit messages. Like nowadays I just write work in progress unless I squash a PBR, but that's different. So basically take a look at best practices, figure out why they're there, and understand a bit what I'm doing. Like I remember in Java, I used like a constructor and was assigning some values. And I mean, back then when I was like, I don't know, 14 or so, it was like, okay, I'm doing this, and then I can access that, and it works for some reason. It just works. I don't know why, but I have to do this all the time. And understanding that really helped. So TLDR to answer, yeah, how long did it take to get proficient at coding like this? 13 years, I guess. But I think it would even work faster if there like would be, if I would have like someone looking over my code. Open source helped here a lot. Like I think all the time when I contributed to open source, be it in Laravel ecosystem, Vue and Nuxt, I always had people giving input, and this helps a lot. Even by just saying like, hey, have you thought about that? Not even saying, oh, this doesn't work like this, or just like another pair of eyes with another idea and understanding what you're trying to do and adding some things. So yeah. Awesome, Alex. Really enjoy watching your stream. Thanks. Very glad you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a thing or two, or just saw some nice shortcuts of way doing things. That's great. I have a question not related to coding. Is there a background of your nickname? There is a background of a nickname. Unfortunately, I will not reveal that on stream here. Maybe write me a message afterward. There is a history though. That is. Yeah. Okay, let's fix this real quick. And of course, if you have other questions, please let me know. Having an eye on the chat and opening that once again to see, and I think yeah, that's okay. And to show you the problem. So let's move myself over here. So here you see that there is nothing, but if I hover over my mouse, you see on the left side it's linked to the Twitch, right? So that's a problem, and we'll fix that real quick, because that link here is there, it exists, right? It's just in between, it's empty. And in a way I get it, because if I remove that here, the whole thing shifts, and that's not ideal either. So what we just do is we say we have this app link here, and we could do technically saying, okay, you know what, component is, and say if there's if it's not live, then do something else. We could also say area disabled. We should do that for sure. Area disabled, not is live, and we should also do the 2 should be fixed by saying if is live, social is Twitch, otherwise undefined maybe. Yeah, that should be a new line, I guess. Thank you for the follow. Thanks a lot. Oh well, ternaries. Writing ternaries the right way helps. Here we go. Let's see if that already does it for us. Okay, you can't see that. I will put it here, and we're good. There's contact, and there's nothing in here anymore. That's it. But of course, if we reload it properly, you know what? Let's just do this. There will be that indicator. Okay, quick fix, but that was worth it doing real quick. Yeah, and that's that for this Sunday afternoon. One last question going on here, or like at least one of the last questions. Would it make sense to learn React or Vue while learning JavaScript, or wait to get deeper understanding of JS beforehand? So this is a bit tricky. I think if you, let's say, if you have enough understanding of JavaScript that you can that you can do the basics. For example, there's this great javascript.info book that helps a lot. It also has like exercises and stuff. That's really nice. Also dropping that in chat real quick. I think that's like a good base level. But the problem is you can't, like, I think the best way of learning things is really building stuff, because otherwise you just learn because like you should learn this, and not you have to apply it in a way. So I would say like jumping into Vue, because for like I chose Vue back then because it was the easiest for beginners. Like I had not much going on. Like of course I used jQuery as so many other people, but I came from PHP and I was like, okay, Vue is not an intimidating style, template, script, so a bit like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, we're good. You don't need to jump into TS straight away. You don't need to do TypeScript. You can just say, let's do Vue, let's do the basics, and try to build something. Try to build something that you really enjoy using, could solve a problem of yours, could be like something that would help you, right? Because if it's like, oh, I built a calculator or like a to-do app, it's a great, nice and first task, but it's not that rewarding. Thanks for the follow. It's not that rewarding because it's not like, oh yeah, I want to, I don't know, have a little diary of my plans to see when I have to water them, or oh, I don't know, I want to create an application for my shared flat to track expenses or something like that. So I really think it is really nice to learn while you build stuff, because at some point we're like, okay, I want to do something. How do I do that? And this is also, in a way, what I try to do in my workshops when I teach Vue or JavaScript. It's like, oh, here's a problem. You have to figure out how to solve that, and then we talk about the way that I would try to tackle this. And that way, it's like, okay, you don't learn it because like, oh, here are the slides, do some copy paste, but it's more like, there's a problem, you should solve that. It's not the best intrinsic motivation, but still better than just saying, oh yeah, we talked about it, and here's like, now you apply what you just heard about. So giving the TLDR version, I think if you have the fundamentals of JavaScript, choose a framework. And as I said, I really would suggest Vue to get started with, but try out whatever you want, right? If you feel React clicks with you better, then go for React or Angular or Svelte or whatever, and build something. Yeah. Wonderful. Good evening. We are about to wrap up, I'm afraid. But if I'm still around for a couple minutes. If there are any questions, any more questions, that's the moment. Well, I will quickly push that fix here, and then we are good to go. And well, I'll tear down all the VS Code instances in the meantime. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. And thanks for the follow. All right. I think it's been a good time. When is the next stream? Yeah. Oh, thanks for the reminder. Actually, that's a bit of a problem. I can't tell you yet. I will announce it on Twitter and on YouTube as well, and also here. I hope to do next week one for sure. Depends a bit how much I progress with thesis writing and stuff. So, well, worst case in 7 days. Worst case next Sunday. But yeah, maybe I can squeeze one earlier. So either like say mid of the week or next weekend. But as I said, I will keep everybody posted. I will announce that earlier on my socials. So whoever's interested, feel free to leave a follow here. Of course, I'll also try to put up the schedule as soon as I can. But I'll also tweet at least on a day or a day before when I go live. Yeah, and I think that's a really great question to wrap it up. Thanks everybody for joining. Thanks for sticking around. See you next time. Take a look at the YouTube videos. Maybe that's also something of interest, especially if you use Vue or Nuxt. And I wish you all a wonderful Saturday, or sorry, we're already in Sunday. Yeah, tomorrow is Monday. A wonderful rest of the week and weekend, no matter what time it is at your place. And see you all next time again. Thanks everybody. See ya.